Milo adjusted his helmet as the landing craft touched down on the dusty surface of Virela. The sky above was a soft green, unlike any sky he had seen before. Strange clouds swirled slowly, giving the horizon a strange, almost magical glow. Milo stepped out and felt the crunch of the sand under his boots. The planet was quiet. Too quiet. "Looks like the maps were correct," said Sarah, the team's historian. She adjusted her scanner and pointed at a distant canyon. "The ruins should be right over there. Ancient records mentioned a hidden tomb. I think this is it." Milo nodded. He had been on many missions, but something about this place felt different. It was not just the silence or the alien landscape. There was a sense of history waiting to be discovered, as if the planet itself wanted someone to find its secrets. The team started walking toward the canyon. They passed broken rocks that looked like pieces of old statues and walls half buried in the sand. Strange symbols were carved into the stones, unlike anything Milo had seen before. He bent down to touch one. The symbol seemed to glow faintly beneath his fingers. He pulled back in surprise. "Careful, Milo," Sarah said. "These carvings are ancient. They could be fragile, or they might even be a part of some mechanism." Milo stepped back and looked up at the canyon. The entrance was hidden behind a large wall of stone. From a distance, it looked like a natural cliff. But as they approached, Sarah's scanner beeped. "It's not natural," she said. "There's a doorway here, hidden in the stone. Whoever built this didn't want it to be found easily." Milo pushed aside some loose rocks. Dust flew into the air. Slowly, the hidden doorway became visible. It was large, tall enough for a person to walk through easily, and covered in symbols similar to the ones outside. The door looked heavy, but there was no handle or lock. It seemed to respond to their presence. "Do you think it will open?" asked Tomasz, the engineer, adjusting his gloves. "I guess we will find out," Milo said. He stepped forward and touched the door. Warmth spread from his hand into the stone, and with a low rumble, the door slowly slid open. The air inside smelled of dust and age. A soft glow came from the depths of the tomb, giving the chamber a golden light. The team entered carefully. The walls were covered with more carvings. Some showed humans walking among tall, elegant figures with crowns. Others showed stars and planets connected by lines, almost like a map. Milo felt a strange connection as he looked at the images. They seemed to tell a story. "This must be the Queen," Sarah whispered. "She united many civilizations long ago. Her name is lost to history, but these carvings, they tell us her story." Milo walked further inside. The chamber opened into a large hall. In the center, a stone pedestal held a glowing pendant. It was shaped like a star with delicate lines running across it. The glow was soft but bright enough to light the hall. Milo felt drawn to it. "Don't touch it yet," Sarah warned. "We need to be careful. Ancient artifacts can be dangerous." Milo hesitated. Something about the pendant seemed alive. It pulsed gently, as if it had a heartbeat. Slowly, he reached out. The moment his fingers touched the pendant, the light flared. The walls of the hall shifted, revealing a hidden passage leading deeper underground. The team gasped. Tomasz stepped back in awe. "I did not expect that," he said. Milo looked at Sarah. "This is incredible. We just found a secret chamber. This tomb, it is more than just a resting place. It holds knowledge, power, maybe even history that no one has seen for thousands of years." Sarah nodded, her eyes wide with excitement. "We have to go deeper. Whoever built this wanted to protect something very important." The passage was narrow and winding. The walls glowed with a soft light that seemed to come from the stones themselves. Milo led the way, careful with every step. Strange symbols lined the walls, moving slightly as if they were alive. The team moved quietly, each lost in thought about what they might find. After a long walk, they reached another chamber. This one was larger and more beautiful than the first. Tall pillars reached to the ceiling, carved with images of the queen and her people. At the far end of the room was a statue of the queen herself, her hand raised as if she was welcoming visitors. Milo approached the statue. The details were extraordinary. Her eyes seemed to follow him, and her face had a calm wisdom. He felt a chill run down his spine. "This is amazing," he said softly. "It's like she is still here, watching us." Sarah stepped closer and placed her hand on the base of the statue. "There are writings here. I can read some of them. She talks about a time when civilizations fought each other and about her efforts to bring peace. She also mentions something, a gift for those who are brave enough to find her tomb." Milo looked around, feeling a mixture of awe and excitement. "We need to find that gift. It might change everything we know about history." As the team continued to examine the chamber, Milo noticed something strange. The symbols on the wall seemed to form patterns, almost like a map of the stars. He pointed to it. "Look at this. These aren't just decorations. They are star charts, pointing to places beyond our knowledge. This queen, she might have known more about the galaxy than we ever imagined." Sarah's eyes widened. "If we can understand these charts, we could uncover civilizations lost to time. We could learn from their achievements. This could be the greatest discovery in human history." Milo smiled. He felt a sense of pride and responsibility. Humans were explorers, thinkers, and problem solvers. They had come to a planet far from Earth and found a secret that had remained hidden for millennia. And somehow, it felt like the queen had been waiting for them. The team spent the rest of the day exploring the chamber, documenting every carving, every symbol, and every detail. They knew this was only the beginning. The queen's tomb held many secrets, and Milo was determined to uncover them all. As the sun set over the green sky of Virella, Milo looked back at the entrance to the tomb. The desert was quiet again, but the tomb itself seemed alive, glowing softly in the fading light. Milo knew this discovery would change history, and he felt proud to be the one who had found it. He turned to his team and said, "Tomorrow, we go deeper. There is more to see, more to learn, and we are the first humans to do so. Let's be ready for anything." The team nodded. They were ready. The Queen's tomb was just the beginning of a journey that would change everything they thought they knew about the universe. The next morning, the team returned to the tomb, ready to explore deeper. The green sky of Virella glowed softly, casting long shadows across the desert. Milo led the way, his boots crunching against the dusty ground. The hidden doorway of the tomb stood open, inviting them into its ancient halls. "This place feels different today," Sarah said as she adjusted her scanner. "Yesterday, it was discovery. Today, it feels like the tomb is alive, like it wants us to go further." Milo nodded. He felt the same. The pendant they had found the day before pulsed faintly in his bag. It was warm, almost like it had a heartbeat. He could not explain it, but the feeling was real. The team entered the first chamber and walked through the glowing passage they had discovered. The walls were lined with symbols and star charts, and Milo could not stop looking at them. He traced the lines with his fingers, imagining the civilizations the Queen had described. As they moved deeper, they reached a circular chamber. In the center, the glowing pendant hovered slightly above a pedestal, as if it had been waiting for them. The air felt charged, like a quiet energy surrounded the room. Sarah approached slowly. "Milo, I think the pendant is more than a decoration. It is a key. Look at the carvings around the pedestal. They match the lines on the pendant exactly." Milo carefully took the pendant out of his bag. It felt lighter than it looked and radiated warmth. The lines on its surface glowed brighter as he held it. He placed it on the pedestal. The moment it touched the stone, the chamber vibrated softly. A hidden door slid open along the curved wall, revealing a narrow stairway leading down into darkness. The team exchanged excited glances. Tomasz whispered, "We are about to uncover something no one has ever seen. Be ready for anything." They descended carefully. The stairway was carved from the same stone as the tomb, smooth and cool under their hands. The soft glow from the pendant lit their path, revealing more carvings along the walls. These carvings told a story of the queen traveling among the stars, meeting other civilizations, and sharing knowledge. This queen, Sarah said softly, she was more than a ruler. She was a teacher, a guide. She wanted her knowledge to survive, and she trusted humans to find it. Milo felt a thrill. Humans were explorers, dreamers, and problem solvers. Perhaps the queen had recognized something unique in them. He looked around and realized this tomb was not just a resting place. It was a message, a challenge, and a gift all at once. At the bottom of the stairs, they entered a vast chamber. The walls glowed faintly with a golden light. In the center stood a circular platform, covered with intricate carvings. The carvings shifted slightly as they walked closer, almost like they were alive. Sarah examined the platform. "This is incredible. The carvings show patterns of energy and movement. I think this is some kind of map, not just of stars, but of knowledge, ideas, and maybe even technology." Milo stepped closer to the platform. He placed the pendant in a small indentation at the center. The entire chamber lit up, revealing a holographic projection. Stars and planets appeared above the platform, connected by lines of light. A soft voice echoed through the chamber, calm and welcoming. "Welcome, travelers," the voice said. "I am the queen who once guided civilizations. You have found my gift. Treat it with care, for it holds knowledge and power beyond your understanding." The team stood in awe. The voice was not threatening but kind, full of wisdom and authority. Milo realized that the queen's words were meant for humans specifically. Sarah stepped forward, her eyes wide. She knew we would come. She knew humans would find her tomb and unlock her message. This is more than history. It is a legacy. The holographic projection shifted, showing scenes of civilizations rising, learning, and thriving. The queen's influence was clear. She had shared knowledge that allowed civilizations to grow peacefully, to explore, and to solve problems that seemed impossible. Milo realized that humans had found not just a tomb, but a guide for the future. As they watched, the projection highlighted a specific set of stars. "These points," Sarah said, "might lead to other hidden archives or places the queen influenced. If we can reach them, we could uncover even more knowledge and technology." Milo felt a surge of excitement. Humans were explorers. They had traveled across space to reach this planet, and now they had the opportunity to discover something that could change everything. Suddenly, the chamber shook slightly. Dust fell from the ceiling. Milo looked around. "Did you feel that?" Tomasz examined the walls. "It's a natural tremor. But the tomb is reacting to the pendant. I think it senses that the key has been placed correctly." Sarah nodded. "This means the tomb is designed to guide us, to open only when we are ready." The queen wanted humans to use their minds, not just their strength, to unlock her secrets. Milo felt proud. Humans were clever, resourceful, and brave. That combination might be exactly what the queen had hoped for. The team spent hours examining the chamber. They documented the star maps, recorded the queen's messages, and studied the carvings. Each discovery was more astonishing than the last. Milo realized that the tomb was a test and a gift. Humans were being trusted with knowledge that could shape the galaxy. As they prepared to leave the chamber, Sarah noticed a smaller symbol on the platform. "Milo, look at this. It is another keyhole. I think there is another layer of the tomb we have not accessed yet." The queen left multiple challenges, each one unlocking more of her knowledge. Milo smiled. Then we continue. Humans are explorers. We do not stop when we find one secret. We go further. We learn more. That is what she wanted. The team returned to the stairway, their hearts filled with anticipation. They knew the tomb held more secrets, and each step they took was a step into history. As they climbed back to the upper chambers, Milo looked at the glowing pendant in his hand. He realized that this was more than a key. It was a symbol of trust, a sign that humans were capable of great things. The queen had chosen them for a reason, and he felt determined to honor that trust. Outside the tomb, the green sky of Virella shimmered as if acknowledging their discovery. Milo turned to his team and said, "Tomorrow, we go deeper. The queen's gift is not complete, and neither is our journey. Humans were meant to explore, to learn, and to grow. This tomb proves it." The team nodded. They felt ready for whatever lay ahead. The queen's tomb had opened, revealing a path that would lead them to knowledge, adventure, and perhaps a destiny beyond anything they had imagined. Milo took a final look at the entrance. The tomb was quiet now, but it was alive with possibilities. With the pendant as their guide, they would uncover the secrets hidden for thousands of years and begin a journey that could change history forever. The team returned to the tomb early the next day. The green sky of Virella shone brightly, and a gentle wind moved across the desert. Milo felt a mix of excitement and caution. The queen's tomb had already revealed secrets beyond imagination, but the symbol they had discovered hinted at something even deeper. "This next part could be difficult," Sarah said, scanning the entrance to the lower chamber. "The carvings suggest the queen wanted only the clever and brave to continue." Milo nodded. He had faced danger before, but this was different. The tomb tested the mind, not just the body. "Then we go carefully and think clearly. That is what humans are best at. We learn, we adapt, and we overcome." The team descended the narrow stairway. The pendant glowed brighter in Milo's hand, casting golden light along the walls. As they reached the circular chamber, Milo placed the pendant into the smaller keyhole Sarah had found. The platform vibrated gently, and the walls shifted to reveal another hidden passage. "This is incredible," Tomasz whispered. "It feels like the tomb is alive, guiding us forward." The passage was dark and narrow, twisting like a spiral. The walls were covered in symbols and drawings, showing scenes of the queen interacting with strange machines, tall towers, and glowing crystals. Milo traced one of the carvings with his finger. It depicted a human figure solving a puzzle, pressing stones in a certain order, and unlocking a glowing doorway. Sarah studied the carvings closely. "I think the queen left instructions. She wants us to solve a puzzle to continue. Each step matters, and one mistake could close the path forever." Milo felt a thrill. Humans were problem solvers. This challenge was designed for them. He examined the passage carefully. At the end, they reached a large chamber. The ceiling was high, and in the center stood a circular stone platform with glowing symbols. Around the platform were stones of different shapes and sizes, floating slightly above the floor. "This must be the puzzle," Milo said. "The queen left it for us. We have to arrange the stones correctly to open the next passage." Sarah studied the symbols. "The stones match the carvings we saw in the passage. I think each stone represents a civilization, an idea, or a star. We need to place them in the correct order to complete the pattern." Tomasz stepped forward. "It sounds simple, but these stones could react in ways we do not expect. We need to be careful." The team began examining the stones. Milo picked up a round stone with a soft blue glow. He held it against the platform, and the symbol on the stone matched a carving on the platform. When he placed it down, the symbol on the platform glowed brighter. "That is the first one," Sarah said. "We are on the right track." One by one, they arranged the stones according to the symbols and carvings they had studied. Each placement caused the platform to glow more intensely. Milo realized that the puzzle was not just about following instructions. It was about understanding the Queen's vision. The stones represented knowledge, civilizations, and the connections between them. Finally, they reached the last stone. It was the largest of all, glowing with a golden light. Milo hesitated for a moment. This was the final step, the moment the Queen had prepared for thousands of years. He placed the stone gently on the platform. The chamber shook slightly, and the platform glowed brightly. The walls opened, revealing a vast hall filled with golden light. Milo and the team stepped inside. The air was warm and filled with a soft hum, like the energy of 1,000 stars. In the center of the hall stood a crystal pedestal. On top of it was a small, transparent cube, glowing softly from within. The cube seemed to pulse with life. Milo felt drawn to it. "This must be it," Sarah whispered. "The Queen's greatest gift." The carvings mentioned a source of knowledge, a cube that holds the wisdom of civilizations. "If we take it, we can learn everything she wanted to share." Milo approached the pedestal carefully. As he touched the cube, a wave of energy passed through him. Images appeared in his mind: planets, civilizations, ideas, machines, and stars. The knowledge of the Queen and the worlds she influenced filled his thoughts. He realized that this cube was not just information. It was understanding, insight, and guidance. Tomasz looked at Milo. "Are you okay? You look like you are seeing everything at once." Milo nodded slowly. "It is incredible. This cube, it shows us how civilizations grew, how they solved problems, how they thrived. The Queen wanted us to learn, to understand, and to carry this knowledge forward." Sarah stepped closer. "We need to be careful. This is not just history. It is a tool. The Queen trusted humans with it, but we must use it wisely." Milo agreed. Humans had the ability to think, reason, and act. The Queen's gift was a test of character as much as it was a test of intellect. They had proven themselves by solving the puzzle and reaching the hall. Now they had the responsibility to use the knowledge wisely. As they examined the cube, Milo noticed a small symbol at its base. It matched the star charts they had seen earlier. "Look at this," he said. "The cube connects to the stars. It is pointing to places beyond this planet, places the Queen influenced. There are more secrets, more knowledge waiting to be found." Sarah's eyes shone with excitement. "Then our journey is not over. The Queen's tomb is just the beginning. There are other worlds, other civilizations, and other gifts she left behind. We need to follow the path." Milo smiled. Humans were explorers. They had traveled across the stars, solved puzzles, and discovered a legacy left for them. The tomb had tested them, guided them, and now it had entrusted them with a responsibility larger than any they had imagined. As they prepared to leave the hall, the cube in Milo's hands pulsed softly, as if acknowledging their readiness. The tomb had accepted them as worthy. They were not just visitors. They were guardians of knowledge, chosen to carry the Queen's gift into the future. Outside the tomb, the green sky of Virella shimmered once more. The desert was calm, but Milo felt the weight of the discovery. Humans had unlocked a secret that could change history, guide civilizations, and expand understanding across the galaxy. He turned to his team and said, "This is just the beginning. The Queen left more for us to find. We have the knowledge, the tools, and the courage. We must follow her path and uncover what lies beyond." The team nodded. Each felt a mix of excitement, responsibility, and wonder. The Queen's tomb had tested them, rewarded them, and set them on a journey that would challenge everything they knew. Milo took a final look at the glowing chamber. The cube pulsed softly, as if waiting for the next step. Humans had proven themselves worthy. The Queen's challenge had begun, and the adventure of discovery had only just started. Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz left the tomb with the glowing cube carefully secured. The desert of Virela stretched endlessly around them, but their thoughts were far from the sands. The queen's tomb had tested them and given them knowledge, but now the real journey began. They had to follow the star charts that the cube revealed. "This cube is incredible," Sarah said, examining the glowing symbols. "It shows the stars, but also patterns of movement, trade, and ideas. It is like a map, pointing to places where civilizations the queen influenced still exist." Milo nodded. "She trusted us to continue her work. If we follow these stars, we can learn more, and maybe even help other civilizations grow peacefully." Tomasz smiled. "I never thought I would leave a tomb and immediately start a space expedition, but here we are. Humans really are made for discovery." The team prepared their small spacecraft. Virela's atmosphere made launch easy, but the journey beyond the planet required careful navigation. Milo studied the star map in the cube. The first star the queen highlighted was not far, relatively speaking, and it had signs of life. The cube pulsed gently, almost as if approving their choice. Once they were in orbit, Milo set the ship on the course indicated by the cube. The stars blurred as they accelerated through space. Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz watched the holographic projection of the cube as it revealed details about the first star. "This star is called Lyra," Milo said. "According to the cube, there is a small civilization here. They have developed technology, but not beyond their planet. The queen must have guided them indirectly." Sarah adjusted the ship's sensors. "We have to be careful. We do not know how advanced they are or how they will react to visitors. Our goal is observation first, learning second, and only interaction if necessary." Tomasz nodded. "Humans have learned from history. Interference can cause harm. We need to respect their development while understanding the queen's influence." As they approached Lyra, a planet with soft blue oceans and green land masses came into view. Cities of unusual design dotted the surface. The buildings seemed organic, like they had grown from the land rather than being constructed. The civilization was advanced but peaceful. Milo felt a thrill. The queen's influence was real, tangible, and ongoing. This civilization was thriving, and their success was part of the queen's legacy. "Look at the patterns," Sarah said, pointing to the cities. "They match the symbols in the cube." She guided them without interfering directly. "Humans can learn from this. It is a lesson in wisdom, patience, and strategy." They landed the ship near a small city surrounded by forests. As they stepped onto the planet, Milo felt the soft grass under his boots and the gentle warmth of the sun. The air was clean, filled with the scent of flowers and the distant sound of water. The locals approached cautiously. They were humanoid but with subtle differences, slightly taller, with luminous eyes. Their clothing was simple but elegant, and they carried tools that seemed advanced yet natural. Milo stepped forward, raising his hands in a gesture of peace. "We come as friends. We are travelers, explorers, and learners." The leader of the group, a tall figure with a calm presence, studied them carefully. "You are not from here," he said. "Your appearance is strange, but your intentions feel genuine. Why have you come?" Sarah spoke carefully. "We follow the guidance of one who once influenced many civilizations. We seek to understand, to learn, and to share knowledge without harm." The leader nodded slowly. "Your words carry respect. You may observe, but you must not interfere with our growth. We value balance above all else." Milo smiled. Humans could learn from this. Respecting a civilization while sharing knowledge was a delicate balance, but it was possible with wisdom. Over the next days, the team observed the civilization. They studied how the people built cities, shared ideas, and solved problems together. They noticed the queen's subtle influence. Symbols similar to those in the tomb appeared in the design of their buildings, the organization of their cities, and even in their education. "This is remarkable," Sarah said. The Queen guided them without touching their world directly. She taught through inspiration, not control. Humans could do the same with the knowledge she gave us. Milo recorded every observation carefully. He realized that humans, like the Queen, had the ability to influence others through example, through ideas, and through guidance, rather than force. One evening, as the sun set over Lyra, the cube in Milo's hands glowed softly. A new set of symbols appeared, showing another star and another civilization. The Queen's guidance was continuous, like a path across the galaxy. Tomasz looked at the cube. The Queen did not just leave a tomb. She left a journey. Humans are meant to follow it, to learn from her wisdom, and to continue it. Milo nodded. And we are ready. We have learned from this civilization, and we have seen the power of knowledge, patience, and respect. We will carry this forward to the next world. The next morning, the team prepared to leave Lyra. The locals gathered to bid them farewell. Milo felt a deep respect for these people. They had grown under the Queen's guidance, thriving without losing their identity. The leader approached Milo and spoke kindly. "Travelers, you carry wisdom. Use it with care. The path you follow is not easy, but it is worthy." Milo bowed. "We will honor your words. Thank you for allowing us to learn." As the team lifted off from Lyra, Milo looked at the cube. Another star awaited, another civilization, and another chance to learn and guide. The Queen's tomb had been only the beginning. The real adventure was in the journey, in following her wisdom across the stars, and in understanding how humans could grow alongside the civilizations she had influenced. Sarah smiled as the stars streaked past. "This is incredible. Every step we take teaches us more. Humans are explorers, learners, and guardians. This journey proves it." Tomasz nodded. "And the Queen trusted us with it. That is an honor, and a responsibility we must take seriously." Milo held the cube firmly. He felt the pulse of knowledge, the connection to civilizations across the galaxy, and the weight of their mission. Humans had unlocked the tomb, solved its puzzles, and now were walking a path that could change history. As they left Lyra behind, the green and blue planet fading into the distance, Milo whispered to himself, "The Queen's journey is our journey. And we will follow it wherever it leads, learning, growing, and carrying her wisdom into the future." The ship accelerated toward the next star, a new world waiting to reveal its secrets. The adventure continued, filled with discovery, understanding, and the endless possibilities of human ingenuity. The ship moved smoothly through the stars, guided by the glowing cube in Milo's hand. The pulse of knowledge seemed to hum like a heartbeat, leading them to the next civilization the Queen had marked. Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz were ready, but none of them knew exactly what awaited them. "The next star is called Orvane," Milo said, studying the cube. "According to the symbols, this civilization is older and has faced many challenges. The Queen must have left guidance to help them survive." Sarah leaned closer to the projection. "It looks different from Lyra. The cities are not round or flowing. The symbols suggest hidden layers, secret places. We may need to be cautious here." Tomasz smiled, trying to keep spirits high. "Hidden places mean hidden knowledge. Humans are good at solving mysteries. Let's see what we find." As the ship approached Orvane, a rocky planet with deep canyons and dark forests came into view. The civilization was not immediately visible from orbit, but the cube showed glowing markers under the surface. The Queen had left paths that humans could follow, but only if they were observant and careful. Landing near a quiet canyon, the team stepped out into the cold, dry air. The wind swept across the rocks, carrying a faint metallic scent. Milo held the cube, watching its glow intensify, pointing them toward a hidden entrance. Sarah studied the terrain. "The Queen wanted us to find the city without being seen. She trusted humans to observe and explore quietly. That is part of the lesson." Tomasz helped carry the equipment as they followed a narrow tunnel revealed by the cube. The walls were smooth and cool, and faint symbols glowed along the edges, guiding their steps. It felt like walking through the memories of the queen herself. Finally, they reached a large hidden hall. The city inside was built underground, with structures carved from stone and metal. Light came from glowing crystals embedded in the walls. People moved quietly through the city, working together to maintain order and harmony. "This is amazing," Sarah whispered. "They live in balance with their environment, and the queen guided them to survive without changing their culture. She allowed them to grow naturally." Milo nodded. "Humans can learn a lot from this. Survival is not just about strength or technology. It is about understanding, cooperation, and foresight." As they observed, Milo noticed a central chamber with a large crystal. It pulsed with energy, similar to the cube they carried. The locals treated it with respect, gathering around to share knowledge and make decisions. It was clear that the queen's influence shaped not only their survival but also their way of thinking. Suddenly, the cube pulsed more strongly. Milo realized it was reacting to the crystal in the city. "Sarah, Tomasz, the cube is pointing to that crystal. The queen left a connection here. We need to understand it." They approached carefully, keeping their distance. The energy from the crystal was gentle but powerful, filling the room with a soft hum. Milo placed the cube near it. Light flowed between them, connecting the two sources of energy. Images appeared, showing past events, challenges the civilization had faced, and how the queen had guided them without interference. Sarah's eyes widened. She gave them knowledge to overcome crises, but she never imposed it. She trusted humans to learn from her example. "This is remarkable." Tomasz studied the images. "The queen did not just want to teach us. She wanted to show how guidance can be subtle, indirect, and still effective. Humans can use this lesson to influence others positively without controlling them." Milo nodded. The queen's wisdom was deeper than they had imagined. Each civilization she touched faced different challenges, yet she found a way to guide them without destroying their independence. As they continued exploring, the cube revealed a new symbol pointing to a distant canyon. Milo realized it was a hidden chamber, possibly holding more of the queen's knowledge. They followed the directions carefully, navigating narrow passages and avoiding natural hazards. Finally, they reached a stone door carved with intricate patterns. The cube pulsed as Milo touched the surface, unlocking the door. Inside was a small room filled with glowing tablets, each containing the history of the civilization, their inventions, and the queen's guidance. "This is incredible," Sarah said. "All this knowledge survived because she prepared it carefully. Humans can study it, learn, and even share it with others without harming the civilization." Milo studied the tablets. The queen wanted humans to understand the responsibility of knowledge. It is not just about power. It is about using insight to help, to preserve, and to guide wisely. Tomasz examined one of the tablets. She left puzzles and challenges, just like in the tomb. She tests intelligence, patience, and understanding. Humans are capable, but we must stay humble and careful. As they recorded the knowledge, Milo noticed the cube glowing with a new intensity. Another path was opening. The queen had planned the journey to teach humans gradually. Each civilization added a new lesson, preparing them for greater challenges ahead. Sarah looked at Milo. "We are learning not just about the civilizations, but about ourselves. Humans are explorers, problem solvers, and guardians of knowledge. This journey proves it." Milo agreed. "And the queen trusted us to continue her work. That is a responsibility we must honor." Before leaving, they observed the city one last time. The people were calm, unaware of the visitors who had studied their history and recorded their knowledge. Milo felt a deep respect for the civilization. They had thrived under the queen's guidance, growing stronger and wiser. As they returned to the ship, Milo held the cube and whispered, "The Queen's journey is our journey. Each world teaches us something new. Humans are capable of understanding, learning, and sharing wisdom without causing harm." The ship lifted off from Orvane, and the team looked back at the hidden city below. The sun was rising, casting long shadows across the canyon. The civilization was awake, thriving, and following the path the Queen had set for them. Milo studied the cube again. A new star appeared, marked with glowing symbols. Another civilization awaited, another challenge, and another opportunity to learn. Humans had proven themselves capable of unlocking the tomb, solving its puzzles, and understanding its wisdom. Now they were ready to carry that understanding across the stars. Sarah smiled. The Queen's journey never ends. Every civilization teaches us something new. Humans are explorers, learners, and guardians. This is why she trusted us. Tomasz nodded. And we will follow her path. We will learn, we will grow, and we will honor her guidance. Milo felt the pulse of the cube once more. The knowledge of the Queen, the lessons of each civilization, and the future possibilities all flowed through him. Humans had unlocked the tomb, faced its challenges, and now were walking the path of wisdom the Queen had left behind. The ship accelerated toward the next star. Another world awaited, filled with new challenges, discoveries, and lessons. The adventure continued, with the pulse of knowledge guiding them, and the Queen's wisdom shaping their path. The ship sailed silently through the endless stars, carrying Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz toward the next destination revealed by the glowing cube. Each world they visited had taught them something new about civilizations, cooperation, and the quiet power of guidance. Yet the cube now pulsed in a strange rhythm, almost urgent, as if warning them that the next world would be different. "This star is called V Lyra," Milo said, studying the cube. "The symbols suggest a civilization that has faced loss. Their history is hidden, and the Queen left signs to help us understand them. We must be careful." Sarah looked concerned. "The energy from the cube feels tense. This civilization might have dangers we cannot predict. The Queen's lessons will be important here." Tomasz adjusted the ship's sensors. "Humans are made for challenges. We have faced deserts, unknown planets, and hidden cities. We can handle this too. The Queen believes we can." As they approached V Lyra, the planet revealed jagged mountains, deep valleys, and rivers that cut through dark forests. From orbit, signs of a city appeared, but it was partially in ruins. Buildings were broken, and strange structures rose like silent witnesses to past events. The Queen's symbols, glowing faintly on the cube, pointed toward a large central ruin. Landing carefully, the team stepped onto rocky soil. The air was thin and crisp, carrying the scent of minerals and rain. Milo held the cube, watching it pulse with a soft light, guiding them through the dangerous terrain. "The Queen left this as a lesson," Milo said. "Some civilizations may not survive without guidance. We need to understand what happened here so humans can learn from it." Sarah nodded. "Loss teaches more than success sometimes. We must study quietly and respectfully." As they moved toward the central ruin, shadows stretched across the rocky ground. Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz felt an unease that was new. It was as if the planet itself was watching, waiting for them to understand its secrets. Finally, they reached the entrance to a large underground hall. The cube pulsed more intensely, showing symbols for caution and discovery. Inside, the hall was dark, filled with broken machinery and fragments of walls covered in strange writing. The civilization had been advanced, but something had destroyed much of their progress. Tomasz examined the area. "The Queen left signs even here. Look at these symbols, they show rebuilding, guidance, and survival. We must follow them to understand what happened." Milo led the team deeper into the ruins. The cube illuminated a path toward a chamber with a large, cracked crystal. Its energy was weak, flickering like a dying light. The Queen's guidance was still present, though fragile, as if reminding them that knowledge and wisdom must be protected. Sarah studied the crystal. This civilization was strong, but something went wrong. The Queen wanted us to see it and learn from it. Humans must be careful not to repeat these mistakes. As they explored, the cube activated a holographic projection, showing images of the civilization at its peak. They had built towers, machines, and systems to improve life for all, but conflicts had arisen. Small mistakes escalated, resources were mismanaged, and the Queen had left subtle signs to prevent disaster, yet some were ignored. Milo frowned. The Queen's lessons were not followed here completely. That is why the civilization fell into ruin. Humans must see this and understand the importance of learning from guidance before it is too late. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Small rocks fell from the ceiling, and a low rumble echoed through the chamber. Tomasz steadied himself. The planet is unstable. We must be careful. This may be the last challenge the Queen set for us here. The cube glowed brightly, forming a path to another hidden chamber. Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz moved quickly but cautiously, avoiding falling debris and unstable floors. They reached the chamber just as part of the ceiling collapsed behind them. Inside, a collection of glowing tablets rested on a pedestal. The energy from these tablets was strong, unlike the flickering crystal outside. Sarah approached one tablet and touched it gently. The tablet activated, showing the civilization's records, their achievements, their mistakes, and the subtle guidance the Queen had provided. She realized that the Queen had designed the civilization to test not only their resilience but also the humans who would come after them. The Queen wanted us to see failure, Sarah said. We must learn from it and carry this lesson forward. Knowledge is powerful, but wisdom is what prevents disaster. Milo examined the holograms, noting the clever systems the civilization had built and the mistakes that had undone them. This is more than history. It is a lesson in responsibility. Humans must understand the consequences of their actions and the importance of careful guidance. Tomasz studied the room. Even in ruins, the Queen's work survives. That shows the strength of planning, patience, and teaching without interference. Humans can take this knowledge and help other civilizations avoid similar mistakes. As they recorded the knowledge, the cube pulsed one last time, revealing the next destination. The Queen's path continued, showing a civilization untouched by disaster, waiting to teach new lessons. The pulse felt calm now, as if the challenge of Vieira was complete. Milo looked at his team. We faced danger and understood loss. Humans are explorers and learners, but we must also be responsible. The Queen's wisdom is teaching us more than we imagined. Sarah smiled. Every civilization is a lesson. Success and failure, growth and decay, they are all part of the journey. Humans can learn from them all. Tomasz nodded. The Queen trusted us to carry these lessons forward. We have proven ourselves capable so far, and we will continue to honor her guidance. The team left the ruins carefully, feeling the weight of history and the importance of the lessons they had learned. The sky above Vieira was clear now, and the stars stretched endlessly, guiding them toward the next civilization. As the ship rose into orbit, Milo held the cube. It pulsed steadily, as if reminding them that knowledge, wisdom, and responsibility were linked. The Queen's journey was not just about discovery, it was about understanding, guiding, and protecting civilizations across the stars. Sarah looked out the window at the distant galaxies. The next world awaits. We will face new challenges, learn new lessons, and continue the path the Queen set for humans. Tomasz smiled. Humans are explorers, learners, and guardians. This journey proves it every day. We are ready for what comes next. Milo felt the pulse of the cube once more. The lessons of Vieira, the success of Lyra, and the hidden knowledge of Orvain all flowed through him. Humans had walked the path of discovery, faced challenges, and learned the Queen's wisdom. Now, they were ready for the next step, carrying knowledge, respect, and understanding across the galaxy. The ship accelerated toward the next star. Another civilization waited, filled with new possibilities, mysteries, and lessons. The adventure continued, with the pulse of knowledge guiding them, and the Queen's wisdom shaping their journey through the universe. The ship moved silently toward the final star marked by the glowing cube. Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz had seen civilizations that thrived, survived hidden dangers, or faced ruin. Each world taught a new lesson, shaping not only their understanding of the Queen's wisdom but also their understanding of humanity. "This is the last civilization," Milo said, holding the cube carefully. "The Queen designed this one as the final test. It will show the full meaning of her journey." Sarah looked out at the distant planet below. It was covered with vast plains, deep forests, and rivers that sparkled in the light of its twin suns. The surface seemed alive, almost as if it welcomed them. "The cube feels calm here." The Queen prepared the civilization carefully. "There is much to learn." Tomasz adjusted the ship's controls. "Every world has prepared us for this. We know the lessons, we understand responsibility, and we are ready to face the final challenge." As they descended through the atmosphere, Milo noticed structures unlike any they had seen before. The buildings were elegant but simple, designed to blend with nature. The people of the civilization moved gracefully, speaking softly to one another. There were no signs of conflict or ruin. Landing near a river, the team stepped out and felt a sense of peace. The cube pulsed gently, guiding them toward a large central hall. It was open and welcoming, with glowing symbols on the walls that seemed familiar from previous worlds. Sarah studied the structures. The Queen wanted humans to see harmony. "This civilization shows what happens when knowledge, guidance, and wisdom are used well. They survived, thrived, and grew without losing their way." As they entered the hall, a soft voice spoke in their minds. Milo realized it was the Queen's message, transmitted through the cube. "Welcome, humans. You have walked the path of knowledge. You have seen civilizations rise, survive, and face loss. You have learned lessons of guidance, patience, and responsibility. Now you will understand my purpose." The walls of the hall glowed, projecting images of all the civilizations they had visited. Lyra with its flowing cities and cooperation, Orvane with its hidden knowledge, Lyra with its ruins and warnings. Each world was connected, each lesson a piece of a larger design. Sarah gasped. "All the civilizations are linked. The Queen designed this journey to teach humans how to see the consequences of their actions, both good and bad. She wanted us to learn how to guide, protect, and understand." Tomasz stepped forward. "We have learned patience, courage, and wisdom. Humans are explorers and problem solvers, but we also need responsibility. This is the ultimate lesson." The cube pulsed and formed a map of the galaxy, highlighting civilizations that humans could help in the future. "Your task is not complete," the Queen's voice said. "Knowledge alone is not enough. You must act with wisdom, learn from the past, and guide others gently. Every choice matters. Every decision shapes the future." Milo felt the weight of the responsibility. The Queen trusted us not only to learn but to carry her guidance forward. Humans are capable of understanding and teaching, but we must do it wisely. Sarah nodded. "This civilization shows what is possible when guidance is followed with respect and care. Humans can help other civilizations thrive without interfering destructively. We must be patient and thoughtful." The Queen's voice continued. "The tomb, the cubes, and your journey were never about power. They were about understanding. You have unlocked the knowledge, solved the challenges, and seen the outcomes of action and inaction. Your choices define your path and the path of others." Tomasz smiled, feeling hope. "We have learned, and now we can teach. Humans are explorers, learners, and protectors. We can carry this legacy across the stars. The cube glowed one last time, forming a bright path connecting all the civilizations they had visited. Milo realized it was more than a map, it was a network of knowledge and wisdom. The Queen had designed it so that humans could connect, guide, and protect these worlds gently and wisely. Sarah studied the network. The Queen's wisdom is alive. It grows as we learn, act, and share knowledge. Humans have the ability to continue her work, to help civilizations thrive, and to honor her legacy. Milo felt a deep sense of fulfillment. This journey has changed history. The Queen trusted humans to solve puzzles, learn lessons, and carry her wisdom. We have succeeded, but the real work begins now. Humans must continue to explore, learn, and guide responsibly. The civilization around them began to gather, welcoming the visitors without fear. The Queen's influence was evident in their calm and understanding nature. Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz realized that guidance could be given without control, wisdom could be shared without force, and civilizations could grow stronger through gentle support. The cube pulsed and displayed one final message: remember, humans. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is responsibility. Every civilization, every life, and every choice matters. Carry this forward and change history for the better. Sarah smiled, feeling a warmth that was more than light, it was understanding. We have learned, and now we can help others learn. Humans can make a difference if we act with care, patience, and wisdom. Tomasz nodded. The Queen's journey is complete. Her tomb has opened, her lessons have been understood, and humanity is ready to continue her work. The stars are full of opportunities, and we are ready to face them. Milo looked at the cube, feeling the pulse of knowledge one last time. He realized that the journey was not just about finding civilizations or solving puzzles. It was about understanding the responsibility of knowledge, the importance of guidance, and the power of human courage and wisdom. As the ship lifted off from the peaceful planet, Milo, Sarah, and Tomasz looked out at the galaxy. Each star was a new possibility, each planet a new lesson, and each choice a new opportunity to honor the Queen's legacy. The adventure had started with a tomb, but it had grown into a journey of understanding, discovery, and responsibility. The Queen's wisdom would continue through humans, shaping civilizations, protecting knowledge, and guiding the stars toward a future full of hope. Sarah whispered, "The Queen's tomb changed history, but we are the ones who will continue to change the future. Humans are capable of great things if we remember her lessons." Tomasz smiled. "And we will. Every world, every choice, every life, we will honor the path she created. Humans are explorers, teachers, and guardians. That is our legacy now." Milo held the cube one last time as it dimmed, its work complete. The Queen had entrusted humanity with knowledge, wisdom, and responsibility. The tomb had guided them, taught them, and prepared them for the future. The stars stretched endlessly before them, filled with civilizations to learn from, mysteries to solve, and opportunities to grow. Humans were ready to carry the Queen's legacy across the galaxy, ensuring that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding would shape the future for generations to come. And with that, the ship sailed onward, carrying the pulse of knowledge, the lessons of the Queen, and the promise of humanity's bright and responsible future among the stars.